Jesus. Okay. Okay, this stuff is live. All right. So, hello everyone. How are you all doing today? I remember yesterday I mentioned that I would still be sending a recorded version of today's video, but I just thought about it. I was like, even if I know I'm not ready for this live thing because I've not yet connected my YouTube to this channel to like some streaming software like OBS or whatever, I just decided to go live. Just maybe subsequently tomorrow. There are even many functionalities here that I'm absolutely not familiar with. So we'll learn as we go. Um, so today is day two of the 180 days challenge. I'll kind of come closer because I don't have like a mic to my laptop. So today is day two of the 180-day challenge to learn full stack development like fully, right? And if you have watched like the previous two videos, you know the courses that I'm following, Jonas Schmetman on Udemy. And so today, what we learned, I took some notes here on my iPad, and I'll be looking at those notes as I will be sharing, because I'll be looking at those notes as I'll be sharing what I learned today, right? So the first thing that he said, talking about, um, well, not that he was like teaching essentially, but I just thought like I should take notes on that, was differentiating between ordered and unordered list. Now let me say, I know this is very abstract talking about code like this without maybe showing the code, but don't worry. Um, subsequently, few days from now, I would have set these things up and I would be able to share my screen and show you guys what's happening. This is okay. So, the difference between ordered and ordered list. If you're familiar with HTML at all, just think about it this way: ordered list just has to do with numbers, so one, two, three, four, and then unordered list has to do with bullets. So it's not going to identify the numbers. Um, so basically, kind of doesn't care. It doesn't just number it. Let me just make it that simple. And then later on you can use CSS to like um style the kind of bullet, whether you want square or you don't even want bullets at all. You can use, sorry, give me a minute. Yeah, you can use CSS to do that. So the second thing I learned today is um the need for us to give attributes to our images. Not attributes, alternate and text. You know the alt attribute, alt, right? Or alt text, I forget what um which one exactly it is, but the first one is basically for SEO, so that search engines can see it and understand that this is what this image is about. The second one is for screen readers, so people with um um like, what's it called, is it visual disability, can be able to still read, understand your website, even when, if they can still understand your website even when they cannot, like while they are using their screen readers. And the third one is in case the image doesn't load for some reason, maybe it's been pulled up from an API somewhere and it's taking time, that alt text would show, um, what the image is even to you, so you can have an idea of what the image is. Let me be sure what that attribute is before we go forward. Yes, it's just alt. So just ALT. Don't worry. When I set this up, we are going to be seeing it happening in real time. In real time. So that's it for that one. And then I also was reminded today that the image element in HTML has height and width um, attributes. Now, an image has what they call aspect ratio. So, if an image is like, for instance, this video now I think is 16 by 9, because the horizontal is first 16 by 9. Yeah, so that's aspect ratio, right? Um, so images have that. So depending on the size of the image, maybe if the image is like 1000 pixel by 500 pixel. Now, when you adjust one of either the height or the width, the other one would adjust to maintain the aspect ratio automatically. But if you adjust both of them, then if it doesn't match the aspect ratio of the original photo, then your photo will be is it skewed now? But it's going to be messed up. I also learned. Okay, let me not bore you guys with every little detail I took down. Like just real stuff. So basically today I rounded up the HTML section, and obviously I'll still be working with HTML throughout the course, but like the section that was dedicated for HTML, introducing HTML, I was done with that one today, and I entered the CSS session today. So there's something else he mentioned like a few new HTML5 elements. I did not cross check if this is true, but like talked about the nav element, the header element, and the article element. So what this mean is like new elements to just structure your web page. There's another element that's called the div. So the div is just a box to contain anything. It can contain anything. Now it is practically possible that you can use the div for almost everything. Like let's say you can use a div instead of using header. You can use a div instead of using footer. You can use a div instead of using maybe article or aside. All these things I'm calling HTML elements. So, but it's important for you to use like those specialized ones. Nothing is really different about them. The only thing is like semantics. It helps the browser like know that, it just gives it some kind of meaning. It helps the browser know that this is header and not just any div. Yeah, yeah, it helps with semantics. Um, or it helps with, should I say SEO or semantics? I'm not sure. There's something else that he also shared that is called HTML entities. So there are certain characters that cannot be easily found on your keyboard, like I think the trademark character, the copyright character. So these characters cannot be easily found on your keyboard, but you see them on websites. So where do they come from? So they are called HTML entities, and they have like some. I'm sorry, guys. So it has some kind of code that can. I just saw some kind of horrible Amber Alert message from probably the police. So the HTML entities has some kind of code that you can use to generate them, and HTML understands that you're talking about copyright. So for the copyright symbol, it is ampersand. You know the and symbol, ampersand, and I think copy. Yeah, ampersand and just copy with a semicolon. Yeah, that would generate the copyright symbol. So that was really interesting to remember. This is not the first time I'm hearing about it, but it was interesting to remember. So we also talked about cool extensions, very cool extensions. Like I know last time, like on day one, we touched on like Prettier, and some cool extensions, like really really cool ones. Maybe I didn't like write them down, but I can remember extensions that automatically complete the names of your tags, extensions that give like highlight the colors in your code, extensions that give image preview on the side. You know, if you're using VS Code, there's this gutter between the file panel and your code interface. So there's a small space there where images can be previewed, so you can just see what image. It helps, helps you to work with your code. So really, really cool. Really, really cool. What's it called? Extensions. And then we dove into CSS. We dove into CSS. Um, and CSS. This was just like the introduction. Basically introducing CSS, and it was clean. It was fast. What am I saying? Don't mind me. Let me show you. So if you've worked with CSS, I don't know if this is going to be like, how this stuff can be mirrored. Okay, yeah, I think this is working now. Why is it that if I come here it's not working, but if I come here it seems like it's working? Yeah, you can see it from here now. So that's what I want to show you. So you see, if you've oh my days, it's not it's not refocusing. So if you have worked with CSS before, you'd see some of the like the names, the technical names of the things you've been coding. So there are selectors, there are declaration blocks, there are declarations, there's property and value. So property plus value make up a declaration, and then everything is called CSS rule. Oh, I should go this way. Yeah, CSS rule. So it was cool. It was cool to learn about that. Um, and then I also learned the also talked about the difference between inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. So inline CSS is basically um, you're writing CSS directly on the HTML element, and he advised us not to do that. I honestly don't know why, but he said like the internal one is a little bit better, and then the external one is. He didn't really say it, but you could tell the external one is like the go-to, right? But I was asking myself, I was like, if the internal CSS is wrong, so how come did Tailwind CSS take off the way it took off? Like almost everybody now is using Tailwind CSS. I obviously people still use like vanilla CSS, but like Tailwind CSS now is hot, you know. And Tailwind is literally like inline CSS. You write it directly on your JSX, on the HTML elements, you see. And I was thinking, like, how did that guy feel like that's even something worth building? I didn't find the answer yet. But these three different ways to incorporate CSS into your project exist. So that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully, I think today's Saturday. Maybe by I don't know, but I'm going to really work hard on making sure that I can show you guys code moving forward. I don't just want perfection to hold me back from starting, because sometimes that's my problem. Um, maybe not in this sense, but like perfectionism sometimes affects me. Um, yeah, I was thinking I would be able to talk for like. You remember when I said I'll do the live for 30 minutes to 1 hour. This is just 15 minutes, and I've said everything that I want to say. Okay, maybe because I'm not showing, I'm just saying. So probably when I start showing, um, then we will be able to stay here a little bit longer. But until then, I'll see. I'll until then. Bye bye. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye bye. I just stop this thing. End stream.